In this video, I'm going to show you how to put these brackets on the way they're intended to go on, and then I'm going to show you how I decided to do it. I cannot even put into words how excited I am about Ironman 4x4fab 4-link kit for the Jeep MJ Comanche. These things look really nice and they're very well constructed. If you look at my welds, and I won't show you right now, but if you look at my welds next to theirs, it looks like Jesse James put these things together. The first thing you want to do is cut the leaf spring brackets off of the frame if you want to. They don't really have any interference with 4-link brackets if you have a long bed like mine. If you have a short bed, I'm not sure how that works if the leaf spring hangers are mounted farther forward toward the front of the truck. I decided to cut mine off because it looks better and I want to paint it and make it look nice. You want to grind off all the junk that's on the uniframe because it's pretty nasty, and if you're welding on it, it'll catch on fire and smell really bad. I cleaned off mine about 2 or 3 inches around where I was going to weld. I heard that you can heat up the coating that's on the uniframe and scrape it off with a 501 tool or whatever you have, but I decided just to use a flap disc and get everything nice and clean that way. Once you have everything cleaned up to where you think it's going to fit, you want to put the bracket onto a jack because they do weigh about 25 pounds each. And lift your bracket up to the frame and see how well it fits. The first thing you'll realize is that the bracket makes contact with the frame where that pinch weld is from the inside of the frame and the top of the frame. You'll have a clearance issue and we'll have to cut that out. Even though I'm not going to mount my bracket in this location, I decided that I would notch the unit frame right there just for the purpose of this video. So I just freehand marked it with a marker and I was able to mock it up to where it's supposed to go. And after that, it's pretty straightforward. Make sure that all of your welding surfaces are clean and you can weld that right up. If you're mounting it the way that I believe is intended to be mounted, the lip on the top of the uniframe can be welded to the lip of the very top of that bracket. Mounting in this location is perfectly fine. I think that your links would be short on a short wheelbase truck. If I was keeping the 119-inch wheelbase of the long wheelbase, I would certainly just mount it there. It's a lot less work, it's easier. I've decided that because I want a wheelbase that is 115 inches or less, and because I've moved my front axle forward about 3 inches, that I need to move these brackets forward as much as possible. And for me, that meant tucking them under the cab. So I cut the outer cab mount, got that nice and clean, and then I cut the inside body mount right underneath that corner. It took me a while, but I finally got this thing to fit. I had to cut the bracket. The trimming that I had to do was about 1/4 inch from the top of the bracket in the back. And then I tapered that up to the upper control mount. And I just kind of trimmed that away, and that ended up being perfect. I jacked the bracket up one more time, and with a little bit of love with a hammer, I was able to get this thing right where I wanted it to be. And it was a snug enough fit when I lowered the jack, the bracket stayed right where it was. So I welded that one up and I got to work on the second one. The second one took way less time. I knew right where I was going to grind. I knew exactly how much I was going to cut off of the bracket. My frame on my Jeep Comanche is a little bit constructed off a little bit, and the right side uniframe was a hair wider than the left side uniframe, but they're so thin you just smack it with a hammer and it goes right in. My favorite thing about these 4-link brackets is they are mounted almost flush with the bottom of the uniframe, and so my rear lower link mounts are actually higher off the ground than my front link mounts. All of the aftermarket 4-link brackets that I've seen mount a few inches below the frame, and I've heard quite a few people actually complain that that kind of system hangs up on rocks and other obstacles that you're trying to get over. I don't think anyone else in the fab parts market is making custom Jeep Comanche rear 4-link mounts currently, but I really like what they did in keeping them low profile like they did. Stay tuned for when I finish up this 4-link. I'm going to do something a little different and kind of cool. Thanks for watching Black Blue Garage.